Welcome back to video number 3. Harry's visa case is over. Shocker. This is going to be short and sweet. Let's go. When Harry wrote The Spare, people were absolutely shocked that he admitted to using certain substances, some that are not legal. And we know that he put it all in the book, that he still uses some of them because they wiped the windshield of his mind. Remember that? Most people who try to come into the country who have been on drugs previously, have drug convictions even of 20 years ago, are denied entry. So the Heritage Group stepped up, and they're a think tank, they stepped up and they said, we would like to see Harry's immigration papers. So the Heritage Group took the government to court over the U.S. visa records. Now, the attorneys for Harry actually walked in with The Spare. And remember, Harry said this was an unflinchingly honest account of his life. And his attorney said, just because Harry wrote it in The Spare doesn't mean it's true. Which, of course, really struck me. If that had been me, I would have been asking, if I'd actually spent the money on his book, which I didn't, I would have been asking for my money back. You can stop the screen at any time and read the actual transcript of what went on in court. It's really, actually, it was very shocking. Now, there were several agencies within the department, U.S. Border Patrol. They also required the information request. Just went on and on and on. The DHS attorney kept saying that a person's visa is confidential. However, when you write a book like that, they're saying he's pretty much already told everybody what's going on in his life, so he broke his own confidence, which is actually true. At the same time that all of this was happening, the U.S. ambassador to the UK came out and said, listen, as long as Biden's in office, as long as the Democrats are in office, he's got nothing to worry about, and we will not deport him. I thought that was a very shocking statement. People think that Harry got special treatment. I agree. I also think he got special treatment. So anyway, the administration, the judge asked for the immigration papers, and the administration came back and said, we can't find them. We're looking for them, but the search is taking longer than expected. We need a 2-week delay. Well, that caught my attention because I'm like, you knew this was coming up. You knew he was going to court for this. You knew you might possibly hand over the documents, and now you can't find them. So for me, I feel like maybe they were creating a paper trail. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but in this instance, I feel like they were creating the paper trail that they didn't do initially when he came over. Now, at the same time that they asked for the extension, they said, and I'm quoting, that other government agencies may need to review the documents before they're handed over to the judge. I cannot imagine what other agencies needed to have their hand on those documents. I mean, I've pointed out before that he probably flew over on a diplomatic visa because there might have been one in place already. And remember, the borders were closing. They had to go fast. And he probably was like, you know what? I have a diplomatic visa. I can go. You're a citizen. Let's go. And I think he came over and he just never filled out any paperwork and he stayed on that visa. So what this whole case comes down to is you're supposed to fill out your application. And if you use any substances that you're not supposed to use, you have to mark that on the application. So the question was, if he marked that on the application, he would have been immediately ineligible to stay. And if he didn't mark it, then he lied and he's not eligible to stay. If he stayed, then obviously he's getting special treatment from the Department of Homeland Security. So that's what this whole row has been about from start to end. So the judge got the documents. They were on his desk for a while before she was able to look at them, for the judge was able to look at them and review them. There was a sealed order sent. It wasn't a decision, it was an order. A few weeks ago, we reported on it, but now articles are coming out saying that the case has been decided. Kind of odd. So Jack Royston, sugar number 2, right behind Obit Scobie, which I find this a little suspect, is the one announcing that Harry's visa status has been terminated. Interesting. Supposedly on September 9th, the case was terminated and there were several sealed orders filed in the case that we know was heard in front of Judge Nichols. Now, of course, his attorneys, Harry's attorneys, are claiming that if they unsealed the records, it would reveal the type of documents Harry used to travel in to the United States, his admission status, his immigration benefits that he may have sought. And so they're saying, the courts are saying that this status is private personal information and is exempt from disclosure. It is being reported in the article that it is possible that the orders may at some later stage be unsealed, at which point we'll know exactly what brought an end to the lawsuit. Until then, we're not going to know what happened. Please remember that this was not a decision of whether Harry gets to stay or not. This was the Freedom of Information request that was put in by the Heritage Group. Now, of course, one side or the other may appeal, and if they appeal, then we may have more, understanding of what's in the orders. So the way Jack Royston wrote this story is very confusing because even though the title says that his case is terminated, what that means actually is that the case is over, the judge has made a decision, but we still don't know what that decision is. I guess we'll find out depending on which side files an appeal. If the Heritage Foundation files an appeal, then they went for the government. And if the government files an appeal, then they went for the Heritage Foundation. Oh my. I'll be interested to see what the judge had to say about all this. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the buttons, go down into the description box, leave your comments. Don't forget to find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wish list. And to those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.